what can we learn from Edith Stein, the person? Because someone doesn't become a Catholic saint for just being a good philosopher. There's loads of good philosophers who are Catholic in history.
Yeah.
What can we learn from her as a person?
Yeah. One of the things I find humbling, that I suppose we'll put it, what part of what I've learned, she was a really promising student. From very early on, it was seen that she had a particular brilliance. She was one of the first women in the university. She was going places, gets a PhD, works as an assistant to one of the major leading thinkers of the day. She looks like her life's going to be a success, and then it's not. It's just a failure in all kinds of ways. She doesn't get a job. She ends up teaching at a high school. She's got a PhD under the top person in Germany, and she's working at a little convent teaching high school students. And then it starts to look like her career will take off. She's asked to do lecturing across Europe. She's asked to do translation. She applies for jobs again, doesn't get a university post, finally gets something at a teacher's institute, but it's not. And she's asked by the authorities in Berlin to work with them on reform and education, and then loses her job less than a year later. She spends time in the convent fine-tuning her work, really doing a major text, tries to find a publisher. They agree to publish it, but then the laws against Jewish authorship come through, and they had already typeset it. They had paid a lot of money to get it all set, and then they just stop and say, nope, I'm not going to publish it. And so she realized she's not going to get her major work published. She's not going to get a job. She's not going to be able to do the things she was trained to do, she looked like she can do. Part of what I find so striking is that she, in each case, when all the doors seem to be slammed, she turns to whoever's in front of her and takes care of them. So when she can't work in the university, she throws herself into her high school teaching. And her students, she has a very rigorous schedule. Her students loved her. She was really an involved teacher. She doesn't seem bitter that she couldn't have the university post. She takes action. She certainly writes to the authorities in Berlin. She gets the law changed, but then moves on and does what she can do and serves the people she can serve. When she's loses her job in Münster and no longer has access because of the new laws in Nazi Germany, she begins writing for her religious sisters, the people she's living with. So she changes her audience and she begins to do things that would be relevant to them. When she's on the train going to Auschwitz, the story is told that she was taking care of the kids on the train. The parents, understandably, were panicked, falling apart, and she's right there taking care of all the children, trying to make sure she can give whatever comfort she can. I find this ability to handle that level of disappointment without bitterness, but even when the doors get slammed in your face, you don't pretend like it didn't happen or that it isn't a genuine harm, but you also serve in whatever way you can with it, whoever's before you. I find it a pretty striking example of how to live faithfully, even when it looks like everything you've worked for, everything you've been prepared to do is going to end in nothing and dust. At the end of her life, she didn't have any reason to think the major writings she'd been working on, a significant number of books, would ever get published. And it came pretty close to it not happening. But I don't see that in none of her letters does it appear to be, she wants them published, but she's not holding on to it in a way that prevents her from faithfully serving wherever she's placed.